Have you ever had a moment when you read a textbook for a while and later you cannot remember what you just read? Why is this happening to us? Because when we read a textbook without any guidelines, our brains will not perceive that reading as meaningful. In other words, if we want to remember the reading for long term, we have to give our brain some type of mission during the reading so that it can retain information by actively putting meaning to the text. We learn the best when we can engage our brains to find solutions in a way that is meaningful to our lives. If we read without clear intentions, our brains will not be active enough to make that information relevant to us. Today I'll be sharing an evidence-based learning technique called SQ3R so that you can remember almost everything you read and write effective notes to ace all of your tests. In SQ3R, S stands for skim, and it means to look at information from a bird's eye view. Before you read the text, scan the title, headings, bolded words, summary, and graphics to see the overall idea of a text. Skimming the information before you start reading could give you a good roadmap to follow since you already have some idea of what information to focus on. When you skim, think about what information is new and unknown to you so that you can focus on information that is not familiar to you. Remember, studying is about putting time into things that you don't know or you're not good at. Q stands for questions. Before you read, think about some of the questions that you may have from skimming the text. What does this bolded word mean? Why is this sentence highlighted? Forming these type of questions before you read will increase your focus since you have a mission to find the answers to the questions. This is the same thing as you paying less attention to ungraded assignments versus graded assignments. Graded assignments give you a mission to pay more attention to your work since what you do reflects on your grade. If you're not sure how to create questions, focus on the words you found in the title and subheadings. Start by asking what is and how is it relevant to. When you use these keyframes, you'll be able to compare and contrast between new and old information based on its importance. The first R from 3R means to read. It is time for you to pay close attention to details while you read so that you can answer those questions you created earlier. When you're finding the answers from reading, make sure to answer them in your own words. Why is this process important? Oftentimes, the definition that is given by Google or text is not relevant to you, which means that it is unnatural for you to digest that information and memorize it word for word. This becomes very evident when you ask your friends to define a scientific term. They will most likely give you a definition in their own words rather than the word-to-word definition provided by Google. It is so much easier for us to summarize definitions in our own words and remember them since through that process, we're digesting and summarizing the information that is easy for us to remember. Want to have long-term memory? Start breaking down definitions in your own and simple words. When you summarize information, challenge yourself to summarize using fewer words than traditional definitions provided by the text. This way you get to think in depth to find the most efficient and effective way for you to sum up the information for long-term memory. Start owning the information you read by putting it in your own words, and you'll see the magic of long-term memory. Second R stands for recite. As you find answers to your questions while you read, make sure to bring that information out by reciting them. Research tells us that we learn by reading and reciting, and the efficiency of reading is only 20%, while reciting is 80%. Choose the better method and invest your time and effort in it. Reading without reciting will not make you go far, but adding reciting to your reading will do. Final R means review. The most important part of learning is to check your understanding. Before moving on to the next chapter, make sure that you have a clear understanding of the concept by testing what you know. Start summarizing the whole chapter or look at the keywords and see whether you can explain them. Moving to the next chapter without mastering can make you even more confusing and distract you from acquiring new information. Mastering each chapter also gives you a sense of accomplishment to stay motivated and confident while you study. I hope that SQ3R can make you be more intentional about before and after reading so that you get to pay close attention to the details of the text and review your understanding after so that you can become a complete learner. Thank you so much for watching this video, and later.